Hi friends, it's Becky, and I just got the October Bargain Bead Box Leafy Landscape, and I'm just going to give you a moment if this came up on autoplay to get out of here if you don't want to be spoiled. And then, in about a minute, I'm going to assume that you want to see what's in this box along with me. Now, if you're new to my channel, when I unbox my bead boxes, I also organize them into my 15 grid organizers. This is my favorite way of sorting my monthly bead boxes because then I can see everything all at once when I'm working with it. They stack really easily, and if I leave them in the box or bag that they came in, I'll never use it. So I absolutely will use these for just about every single bead subscription or monthly box that I get. And this is one of the best bead subscriptions out there. It has one of the best values for money because you get check glass beads, you get findings, you get gemstones, and they're all very beautifully curated to a theme. And this month's theme is Leafy Landscape. The earthy palette showcases the abstract beauty of Picasso jasper. Love that. With its gorgeous linear patterns and autumnal colors, reminiscent of late fall horizon. I am so ready for fall colors, everybody. Yay, fall! Pumpkin, leaf, and pine cone motifs add to the autumn theme, sparkling crystal accents, and a selection of findings in antique bronze. The cozy color combination makes me want to curl up with a good book and sip some tea. And there's a fold in this because on the other side of this piece of paper is a 30% off coupon that is for subscribers to use at their sister store, Bead Box Bargains, where you can usually find all of these in the extras section, and there's usually some very, very good discounts and deals on other beads at that site. All right, let's see what we've got in here. We are getting ready for some fall colors. Now, in the past, I would have gone down this list and sorted through and found them, but because these are labeled with exactly what's in it, I don't need to use that list to reference it anymore. Look at this Picasso jasper. Look at these. That's fantastic. So I am going to get all of these opened. One at a time, we're going to take a closer look at our beads. Just going to get my ladybug dish because I can put the beads on this and it'll make it easier to see the colors up close. Love that. Oh, yes. This is a fantastic bead box. Somehow I feel like they outdo themselves every single time, but they outdid themselves again. It's so beautiful and so wonderful. All right, so let's start with our pumpkins because it is pumpkin-y month. These are carved Malaysian jade, that's dyed quartz. They're pumpkin beads and they are 10 by 15 millimeters. And there are 4 of them in here. And again, let's get them on here so we can get a close look without all of that other stuff distracting the autofocus and a better idea of the color. These are really sweet pumpkin beads. I'm going to set them right in there. All right, let's take a look at some of these larger beads, the jaspers. Oh, Rainbow Picasso Jasper round beads. There's 15 inches of this and they are 8 millimeters. There is so much variation in this strand from bead to bead. You've got like your dark, deep, rich reds, you've got your earthy taupes, you've got some grays and some olive greens. I think I love this kind of one where you get like some of these like black striations through them. That's one of my favorite things that I'm looking at right here on this. All right, let's get this unstrung and put into my section. Now sometimes when you have these really long strands, you need to set down this divider. I'm going to find out if this 15-inch strand, it's 15 inches, but it's 8 millimeters, so there's a lot of beads in this. And it's going to be too much for one section. So let's go ahead and set it down. Open that up. Get more room in there. And sometimes if we've got a lot of beads, and there's a few that there might be like 1 or 2 beads, we'll do roommate situations. There's a lot of room still in here with these pumpkins, so some smaller beads might work out really well there. this knot is stuck in the hole. Ah, there we go. So I'm just going to pull that out. There we go. All right. These are rectangle nugget beads. We get 7.5 inches on this. As far as the size goes on these, it looks like it's gonna vary, but in general, they should be about 13 by 8. This one's a little bit smaller. So it's 11. Yeah. I think anywhere between 11 and 13 millimeters by 8. And they've got those rounded cube edges. It's great to have different shapes of beads as well as different sizes. It really expands like what you can do with your beads. And I really appreciate them giving us multiple shapes and sizes of the gemstone that's included. And sometimes multiple gemstones too, like we've got these guys too, in addition to the jasper. Alright, and 10 millimeter Rainbow Picasso jasper rounds, and this is 7.5 inches. Again, really amazing variations. I'm not seeing as many of this kind of bead, but this kind of bead would look fantastic with any of these others, these larger ones. Let's get this open. My hope is the shorter length on this will make up for the fact that these are larger beads and we can just use one section for them. Let's find out. Alright, that is pretty full, so I'm going to take these last two. Whoop. Looks like that's tied on there. I'm just going to nestle them in here like that, since there's a little extra room in there. Alright, now we've got some crystal beads. Take a look at these. We're getting into our green areas because when the leaves are changing, we're going to have some red leaves and we'll have some that still have green. There's also evergreens. Did you know that live oaks, which are very common here in Texas, are evergreens? They don't drop their leaves in the fall. These are 6 by 4 millimeter crystal faceted rondelle beans in light green with a bronze iris. Oh, look how sparkly they are. I love a good sparkle on a bead. This is my least favorite stringing material. It is this very fine gauge wire. And if I am not careful when I am unstringing it, I think with this very long strand, it's 15 inches of that. I'm going to need 2 sections for it. So let's unstring this as carefully as possible so I don't poke myself with this wire. I'm not going to say anything. I was about to jinx myself by saying I've gone a couple of unboxings so far without any damage, and that's just a really, really quick way for me to find myself in a situation with a pokey bit. And oop, you know what? Let me get that divider, because it looks like these are small enough that even though that's a very long strand, they do all fit in this section. So I'm just going to put this divider back. There we go. Because we don't need to use those sections if we don't need to use them. And then we've got some 4 millimeter faceted bicones. They're in blue-green iris. And there's 13 inches of these. That is a moody, moody blue-green. Love that. Right. Whoop. our sparkle. We have so much sparkle in this box because look at these green. They've got an AB finish on them as well. That's that rainbowy when you change the focus of the light. That's what that finish is. These are English cut round beads in evergreen AB. They are 5.5 millimeters and we get 10 inches of these. Ooh. Here we go. Let's just get that released carefully, carefully. There are so many metal findings in this, which is not necessarily a bad thing, especially when you get ones that are this, careful, careful, okay. Whew. I'm not going to take my victory lap yet because I still have a little more to deal with. Whew, okay, I feel like I just diffused a bomb. Just a little bit there. Alright, now we've got one last strand of beads here before we start getting into our findings and metals. These are 4mm faceted agate round beads, 14.5 inches, usually on these strands with these smaller beads. They curl up nicely enough that I don't have to unstring them until I go to use them, and it actually makes it a little easier to do that. And this is just giving us some really great warm colors, fantastic oranges, a little bit of them. They feel really carnelian to me for that. So these are just faceted agate beads. And I'm going to curl these up right here. There we go. Alright, now we've got more pumpkins. These are hematite beads. They are 8 by 6 millimeter, and it is man-made hematite. They are these corrugated pumpkin beads. We've got 7.5 inches of them in a bronze color. They are nice and heavy. And here we go. Oof. One more strand with the wire. Why? No early celebrations, guys. No early celebrations. Ah, okay. Here we go. I know I'm not alone. Several of you have agreed with me that you do not enjoy the wire that this is strung on. Okay, one last one. Whew, I think I can breathe easy now. I think I can. Alright, let's get these guys up here in this corner. And look at the sparkles. Look at these fall colors. Alright, now let's look at our findings. We have two 35 by 20 millimeter leaf pendants. And this is all in that antique bronze color. Let's turn these over so you can look at both sides. These are absolutely 100% going to be earrings because this is one of my favorite things to do, is to dangle some leaves underneath some beads for fall earrings. I wear the ones that I've made before all the time, and we're definitely going to do that with these. And then our pine cones. You get 10 of these. They are 13 by 7 millimeters. And it's so nice to have little. Let's go ahead and stick them in here with these guys. So we've got pendants and drops together. Oh, and here's a gemstone focal this like coffin shape is fantastic. And this is one of the components that will be different from box to box and from person to person. This looks like a sunset in the desert with monsoon clouds roiling above it. That is what this is looking like to me. And it looks like it's got a hole here up at the top. I'm going to go ahead and roommate situation it with these pumpkins. Since the pumpkins don't take up as much room as some of the other ones, we still have all of these findings that need to go in here. Looks like we've got a magnetic closure. It is 17mm brass, and it is a super hold magnet. See, it has these little catches that'll keep it from sliding open. And then we've got some leaf detail chandelier links. You are okay. You're not dying, I promise. There's the front and back of those. These would make great earrings or a great component for doing maybe a 3-strand necklace. I'm going to stick them in here with the clasp. And then we've got some connectors, some more links. These are 10-piece, 15 by 9mm leaf links. And it looks like they are the same front and back. So you can have them mirror each other in your design, like that. I'm going to stick them in here with the other connectors. And now I've got some spacers. These are corrugated barrel spacers, and there are 30 of them. They're 5mm in size. Where you going, buddies? I'm gonna stick them right in here. And I'll deal with that later. And then we've got 7mm oval jewelry chain. There's 1 meter of this. Oh, sorry, it's 4 by 2.7 millimeter. This looks like that'll be a great chain. And it's all in this bronze colorway. I like it when they give us multiple findings in metal colors that aren't as common. So sometimes if we have silver or we have gold, we won't have as many chains or spacers, or they won't send ear wires with it. But because it's an off color, not as common, they're giving us some ear wires to go with it. It looks like we've got 10 of these, which, I mean, honestly, I could probably do some earrings with those, maybe. All right, this one's gonna go, actually, let's keep them in their bag. That way they won't get all weird in there. And then we've got some bead caps, 7mm bumpy 6-petal leaf bead caps. Put a couple of these in here. These have kind of a smaller yet deep hole in them. Let me see. I think these will fit pretty well. Oh, nice. They'll stand out on those larger beads, so they won't hide the color of those beads. I'm going to put the bead caps in here with these spacers because I'm going to stick the jump rings, which is an assortment of sizes. 5 grams, mixed sizes jump rings. Looks like we've got some tiny, tiny ones, some larger ones. Pretty much all the sizes that we're going to need in order to be able to make some jewelry. Like I said, since this is it's outside of the stainless steel, silver, gold colorways, they give us extra colors of the findings, or extra findings, so that we can make more things with it, instead of being like, well, I don't have any brass jump rings, so what am I going to use? When we get them in the box, which is fantastic. Alright, so here's one last look at the Bargain Bead Box for October. It is the Leafy landscape, and it is beautiful, and I am ready to start creating with this. I'm going to put a link in the description to Beadbox Bargains. There is a coupon code. If you are not a subscriber and you'd like to subscribe, you can use my coupon code Beki2, and that'll give you $2 off of your first your first month in the subscription. It would also give you $2 off of your first purchase from Beadbox Bargains. Anyway, I hope you all are having a fantastic week, and I will talk with you later. Happy beading!